All right, and we are live. What's going on? My name is Dr. Ben. I am representing the PreChiro podcast in this conversation, and I've got a new friend of mine, Brent, on the other side. That's the real student mentor. I want to thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule to kick it with me today. Thank you, Brent. Can you describe a little bit about where you're at in life right now, what you're currently working on, and where your focus is?
Yeah, so right now I currently work as the director of research at a stem cell therapy clinic in Los Angeles. I'm an LA born kid, born and raised, went to school a little north in Santa Barbara. And I've been on the pre-med track for feels like all my life, you know. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I'm really passionate about mentoring, networking, and helping students find their passion for whatever they want to do.
Right on. So let's just get right into it. If you're a student in college right now, or even in high school, and you're thinking of going in the healthcare direction, what are some questions you should be asking yourself to help clarify what might be the best path for you, or what you should begin to really start to investigate for yourself?
Yeah. So first would be why you're doing the things you're doing. It's very easy because all their moms and dads out there, they want you to be a doctor. That's like the patented career path. But ask yourself, why do I want to be a doctor? Why do I want to be a chiropractor? Why do I want to be a PA? You know, these are the questions you need to ask yourself because you aren't going to be happy living someone else's life. You're only going to be happy living yours. And how do you find out the answers to that? Well, you reach out to people. You see the different professions. You email a chiropractor, you email a physical therapist, you email a doctor, email a PA. See which of those lifestyles are best for you. So it's really not a question you could just answer by yourself. You know, you really have to put yourself out there and see what you want to do in life.
Yes, yes. Do your own sort of self work, develop yourself, and also reflect on what are your strengths, what are your skills, right? If you're a college athlete, you might be happier with a profession where you're very physically active, or you're using your hands, or you're moving more. Whereas if you spent a lot of time growing up being attracted to the sciences, and really sitting in a laboratory gets you juiced or gets you excited, then that might be a reason for you to move into a laboratory setting. Can you talk a little bit about your background, like how you ended up as a director of a stem cell clinic, and sort of how you found this specific path?
Yeah, definitely. So going into my junior year of college, everyone, not high school, but college, I always thought I wanted to be a doctor, but I really knew absolutely nothing of what it took to be a doctor. I just figured, oh, I'll be a doctor. You know, I work hard, it'll just happen.
Mhm.
But the reality is, life doesn't work like that. If you want to pursue something, you have to put your all. And I really was basically ignorantly blessed. I felt like, well, if I don't know anything subconsciously, if I don't know anything, well, someone can't tell me I'm not good enough because, you know, I'm just going to tell myself I'm going to get there, yada, yada, yada. But I finally was like, all right, Brent, it's either time to put up or shut up. Do you want to be a doctor, or I only had camp counselor on my resume. So I was like, or do you want to be a camp counselor for the rest of your life? Which nothing wrong with it if that's what you're passionate about. So I finally reached out of my comfort zone and I emailed every stem cell doc in Los Angeles. I was super passionate about stem cell medicine and how athletes were using these treatments to get back to the field more quickly compared to surgery. So I actually filled out a patient application form to the special doctor, now my boss, Dr. Darrow. And I told him, hey, Dr. Darrow, I really have nothing on my resume. I'm a student at UCSB. I would love to be attached to your hip over the summer. I just want to learn. I don't want a job. I just want to be there for whatever you need. I'll change the water cooler, take out the trash, whatever. And
Mhm.
in 6 minutes after filling out that patient application, he said, you, letter U, are welcome anytime. And I was like, wow, that was easy. Like I just went from camp counselor to stem cell intern. So I came in every single day when they opened, left when they were closed. I knew nothing about research, nothing about stem cells really in general, but I knew I was going to work my butt off. So I was able to form this department where we could track our patient outcomes and how they're responding to our treatments, how they're responding in different musculoskeletal conditions, how they're responding at 6 months, a year. Minutia is not really important, but the
Yeah.
project was so successful, and I connected so well to their stem cell family that at the end of that summer, I was promoted to the director of research. So in 3 months, I went from camp counselor to director of research. Now, fast forward later, I've been able to publish multiple stem cell articles. The list goes on. And it really started for me when I reached out of my comfort zone and I just sent that email asking to learn, asking for an opportunity. And you'd be so surprised what can happen with that formula.
Absolutely. I can imagine as a chiropractor, if a PreChiro student or a college student reached out to me and just said, "Hey, I just want to follow you around for the summer. I just want to be at your service. I'm a total beginner," how I would have a lot of empathy. I would remember back when I was in college, when I was a senior, and I did this project where I was looking at every health profession, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. Everyone else in the kinesiology department wanted to become a physical therapist. I thought maybe physician's assistant or optometry or physical therapy. I never considered chiropractic. So I did this project in my senior year, and it eventually led me that path. But it takes you really asking yourself some questions like, what do I love to do? What am I passionate about? Sounds like you were really passionate about the stem cell regenerative therapies and sort of the outcomes they were getting within a specific population, which was athletes. So even though you say you're a camp counselor, you really did have a little bit of a clarity about what you really were interested in, what you were looking to expose yourself further to. No?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was, but this is why I always tell students: you can tell me you want to do all these great things, but if your actions say differently, then that's all that matters. So it's all about putting the actionable steps together to achieve your dream in whatever profession that was. So even though I thought I wanted to be a doctor, I thought I was interested in stem cell therapy, I wouldn't know unless I was actually in the field learning firsthand what was actually going on.
Yes. And that's so crucial, is so much time is spent in the classroom as a high school or college student, and not enough time is spent out in the real world observing somebody who's doing something that you could potentially go to school to learn what to do so that you can go and do that yourself. And yeah, getting those observation hours are critical to making the right decision, the right path. As a pre-med student now currently, well, you're also working full-time, it sounds like, but what do you think the advantages that you're going to have are when you enter medical school with all this experience and all this clarity of what your passion is, what your skills are, and this understanding of what things look like, how they operate within a real clinical setting? How do you think that's going to set you apart from the other students that may be entering medical school without this real world experience?
I think definitely having a sense of purpose, of being in real world situations, knowing what it's like to change a patient's life. So when I am studying 8 to 10 hours a day, every single day, it's not for nothing. I know at the end of the day, this education that I'm getting, or whatever education you want to get in your graduate school, is worth it because I'm going to be able to change patients' life using the modalities as a doctor. But a lot of you guys don't wait till you're a doctor. You can change people's lives right now. Don't use that as an excuse of why you can't change people's lives right now. But I think that overall sense of purpose and knowing with 100% certainty that I don't care what a professor says, I don't care what a parent says, I don't care what a friend says, this is what I want to do and I know why. I think that is definitely could set me apart and push me a little harder when it is time to grind in the books and maybe not the most fun parts of becoming a doctor.
Yeah. No, you hit it right there. It's know your why. Be really clear on why you're doing what you're doing, and that way all of the books that pile up on top of you won't put out that flame that you have within inside, because it's burning bright. So yeah, you just mentioned something that I really want to key in on, which is that you're never too young to start really developing your skills and being valuable to people in society. As an undergrad student or a high school student, we're often not given opportunities that challenge us enough to really step out of our comfort zone and offer ourselves to people and really show up and figure out what we have to offer and realize, wow, actually, I was also a camp counselor growing up, and I recognize, reflecting back, how important that was for me to just figure out how to be solution oriented, right? You've got younger people you're looked up to, and you need to be able to show up for people when they need you. So what would you say to someone accomplish something that would help prepare them not only for medical school or not only for chiropractic school, but how do they start to build themselves into a professional today? Is it time management?
Sorry, you're cutting. No.